Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and read chapter 4, so bear with me because there is strong sexual content in this, so just beware for my viewers and listeners, just to be advised. Trent and I finally landed some work down off the coast of the suburbs. My eyes practically glazed over while taking in all of the massive homes surrounded by a man-made lake. They all had perfect grass in each yard, with an accommodating space in between guarded by privacy fences. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that this area would have been one of a country club where the stuck-up high-class residency golfed on the weekends. Our objective for the day was to scan and measure out some overpaid salesman's backyard for a kidney bean pool with an offset jacuzzi. "Dude, this has got to be the wrong address," I said, slamming the truck door. There was a young brunette in her hot pink bathing suit, washing off a flat black-on-black Hummer in the driveway. Excuse me, miss." Trenton cleared his throat. "Is this the, DePaul residence?" The girl leaned inside the Hummer, turning the stereo down, bearing a smile that was perfected by dental work. "Yeah, you guys from the pool company?" "Yes, ma'am." "My father's inside. Follow me. I'm Bree, by the way." She flashed another grin. I watched Trenton raise an eyebrow above his shades, returning the gesture. We followed her through the house, leading us into what I'd consider the ultimate man cave. The walls were lined with sports memorabilia, with a 52-inch flat screen mounted in the corner that overlooked a Brunswick pool table. There were even handcrafted miniature bar pictures everywhere, and next to a sliding glass door was a handmade bar as well that led to the backyard. Bree's father rested in a leather recliner wearing a polo with khaki pants and deck shoes. What we consider the typical coastal wear around here. "Daddy, the guys from the pool company are here." The man quickly turned his attention to us, standing to his feet. "Welcome, boys. Follow me out to the deck so we can have a look." "Nice place you have here, Mr. DePaul," Trent complimented. "Please, call me Richard," he insisted. We filed out through the glass doors, following Richard onto his patio. It was a decent size, already being screened in. "This is my wife, Meredith, which you have already met, our daughter, Brianna." He motioned towards an older woman in a sun hat reading the paper. "Hello there, boys. You are?" "Oh, I'm Trent, and this is my partner, Malice. But you can call me Mally," I interjected. "Pleasure," she smiled warmly. "Honey, why don't you get these fine young men something to drink while we discuss business?" He walked over to where the screen door led us into the backyard. He went over exactly what he wanted in fine detail. As he spoke, I wrote everything down on paper while Trent went over the order forms. He specifically wanted a fiberglass pool instead of concrete, which, with a depth 3 feet to 6 feet, surrounded with heat-resistant concrete with a comforted lounge area. The entire setup came to $55 grand before labor and permit fees, though I was certain it seemed like pocket change to this guy. His house alone had to be in the range anywhere from $25,000 to $300,000. Once we all finished all the mundane paperwork and small talk, we scheduled installation to begin in the morning at 8 a.m. Trent gave us an estimation time frame of about 2 weeks for completion. Thankfully, we had several other people assigned to assist us in order to keep a time and manner. On our way back to the truck, Bree was standing on a stepladder drying off the top of the Hummer. "Is that your father's?" Trent asked. "No, it's mine, actually." Both mine and Trenton's jaws dropped. "That's fucking awesome. What does Mr. Richard do exactly?" "Campaign marketing. He also has a bunch of stock in various businesses as well." "Very nice. We had better get going. See you tomorrow?" "Maybe," she shrugged. I just laughed, making my way back to the truck. Once we're secured behind closed doors, I just had to ask, "You planning on tabbing that?" "Do I need a motive for that one?" "You're fucking crazy, dude," I laughed. The cool air from the lobby sent a chilled sensation throughout my body. Trent dropped off the paperwork to Tiffany at the front desk, and while passing, she grabbed my attention. Trent stopped a few feet ahead, respectfully waiting. "Hey, Melly, are you busy later tonight?" "Not that I can recall. What's up?" I just wanted to know if you'd like to maybe hang out. I can come over after work. I scratched the back of my neck nervously. Your place would probably be better suited. I'll text you then. Trent gave me a hurry the fuck up glare. I left it at that, following him into his father's office. Lord knows I definitely didn't want to bring Tiffany around the mayhem that lingered within the walls of my home. Flashbacks of having Nikki there with me when we were dating imprisoned my thoughts and caused me to shudder. My father can be the worst kind of monster when he's drunk. Mally, did you hear that? I felt Trenton's backhand just slap against my arm, pulling me from my thoughts. I'm sorry, what? I'll be picking you up tomorrow at 7. Be prepared for a long day's work. Can't wait. I inhaled deeply. While heading out for the day, Tiffany offered to take me directly to her house and then later dropping me off back at mine. I figured, why not? I get to skip out on the whom's and what's with my father. She so wants your cock, Trent giggled, motioning our handshake before parting ways. The ride to Tiff's place was one of lesser words. I honestly didn't know what the hell to talk about. It's not like I hung around a bunch of chicks on a daily basis. When I'm chilling with the guys, it's completely different, minus awkwardness being the lack thereof. I'm never afraid to speak my mind. With a female, it's almost like walking in a minefield. Any wrong comment can be blown out of proportion. We sat on our couch, sipping some beer, just trying to loosen up the awkward tension that dwindled between us. So, what's your story, Mally? I took a long pull from my beer before responding. Nothing too extravagant. A closed book, I see. Her gaze intensified. I swallowed hard, forcing the lump of feeling trapped down my windpipe. What about you? She fidgeted with the loose strings that frayed at the edge of her cut-off shorts. I moved here when I was 15. Once my father landed a job with his metal company, they offered him a higher position as a supervisor, so he took it. He makes stupid money doing it. Anyway, he met my stepmom here at the beach 3 summers ago, and they decided to get hitched that fall. Interesting. Are they good people? She rolled her eyes, taking in an excessive breath. For the most part, yeah. I watched her gaze into her beer as if it were a projector, rolling memories of her childhood. My father was always dating horrific, trashy women while trying to find the next best thing to replace my mother. But we both knew that was impossible, but the man is persistent. What happened to your mother? She left us for a man in the Navy who promised her a better life. I was just a little girl when this took place. I guess she couldn't handle the verbal abuse and constant belittling my father was so good about proclaiming. He'd always put her down about everything. But in her defense, she always tried her best in making him happy, but he was never satisfied. Once she left, it was a wake-up call for my father. And when I hit my teen years, he distanced himself from me because he claimed I reminded him too damn much of my mother. Well, she must have been an attractive woman then. I cracked an innocent smile. She returned the gesture behind the lip of her bottle as she struggled to take a drink. In the contingent silence we shared, Tiffany sat closer to me, looking me directly in the eyes. Her breath nearly caught up in my throat, choking me in the attempt to swallow. I haven't looked at another female holding such intensity and wonder since I had first met Nikki. How can a guy so mysterious, yet so gentle upon touch, who carries an eased mind, be so feared? Especially posing absent threat throughout high school, she asked, running the pads of her fingertips against my stubble. I clenched my jaw muscles, holding a steady gaze over her. Little did she know, my mind was anything but eased. Her eyes dared no movement to astray from mine as she leaned in closer, sharing calm and shallow breathing. Her blue eyes held me captive like a sailor lost at sea. I overlapped her hand with mine, feeling the smooth of her flesh against the roughness of my calluses. She seemed unmoved by the discomfort. There's more than what meets the eyes, I said softly, watching her lips part. Without looking away, Tiffany sat her beer down on the glass coffee table, climbing completely into my lap. I ran my hands up and down the bareness of her tan legs as she ran hers through the back of my hair. Tightening her grip, she yanked my head back, staring at me domineeringly. I find great attraction in your mysteriousness and your bad boy persona, and I'm just dying to learn more. Just as she finished her comment, her soft lips met mine, and her grip relaxed, moving her hands to either side of my face while I gripped her waist. Something about it felt all too right. I slid my hand up the back. of hers, parting her lips and placing mine back to her chest. She drew my head near, dropping her back with a light, much-practiced moan. I dragged my grainy face across her soft chest as it heaved beneath asthmatically. Tiffany planted her hands into my thighs, pausing movement. What the heck is in your pocket? A grinder. I drew my brows together. She reached inside, pulling it out to examine the chrome sphere. Do you have any? Not much. Maybe a gram inside? Hold that thought. She laid the grinder on my thigh, gracefully sliding to her feet. I watched her disappear down the hallway. Within moments, she returned with the lockbox. I sat forward as she opened it, and inside she had her very own grinder, a bowl, rolling papers, and a bag of wheat. Hell yeah, I nodded with a smile. I grinded mine up into a thick blunt, placing it behind my ear for later, while Tiffany packed a bowl. She went into her kitchen, letting me take the first hit, and came back with 2 cups and a bottle of Ciroc. This girl definitely knew how to chill, and I liked it. We sat a while talking after killing the bowl while sipping on peach liqueur. Within the hour, we were both feeling pretty damn good. I was so lit, we ended up moving to her bedroom to satisfy our need for comfort. My body sank right into her queen-size mattress. Tiffany went into her bathroom, changing into something more comfortable. I pulled off my polo, resting it next to me. Climbing onto the bed, she straddled me, pulling my face in for a long, drawn-out kiss. The coldness of her fingertips made me twitch as she ran them underneath my shirt, guiding it slowly up and over my head, flinging it onto the floor. Tiffany examined the cross with rosary that was tattooed to my right pectoral and moved her hand over the tribal band that I had on my left bicep. Do you have any more? Just a small replica of the Italian flag on my right shoulder blade. It says La Familia and a banner beneath. Tattoos are so sexy. She smiled, pressing her hands into my chest and shoving me back onto a pillow. She dragged her nails down my abdomen, outlining my stomach muscles, and rested her thumbs inside my V-cut. The pressure sent pleasurable sensation throughout my body, causing me to softly grunt. Pulling a hair to one side, Tiffany rocked her body slowly into mine. Once she realized I was turned on, she pressed into me even harder. Moving her lips to my neck, lightly biting me, I could feel myself getting a hard-on. Tiffany suddenly released a sigh once she felt it against her. Mally, are you excited? She whispered. More than you know. She gripped my belt line, undoing my jeans. Before I knew it, she had my rigid ossification grasped firmly in both hands. Damn, you just might hurt me, she laughed. I just smiled as my ego fluttered. Sliding off her tank top, Tiffany backed off the bed, inching down her shorts. She stood bronzingly before me in just a bra and thong while smiling seductively. I left one arm supporting my head, stroking myself to keep stiff. Unsnapping her bra, Tiffany seductively bit her lip, advancing to slide down her panties. Her body was curved and petite, just the way that I liked them. Come here, gorgeous, I groaned. She crawled on top, sitting on my thighs. Do you have a condom? In my wallet. She reached under my ass, pulling it out of my pocket. Holding a golden square between her fingers, she tossed my wallet to the side as she placed the condom package between her teeth. Gripping the edge of my jeans, Tiffany didn't hesitate in yanking them down. Taking me in with one hand, narrowing her eyes, I rubbed the side of her face, letting her kiss my stomach, making her way further down. She ran her tongue along one side of my erection, making circles around the top. Biting off a corner to the condom package, she smoothly slid it on, positioning herself above it. Tiffany held herself up with one arm that pressed into my thigh while using her other hand to place my tip at her entrance. She eased down slowly, allowing her lubrication to assist in entry, but my circumference was too much for one quick thrust. She relaxed her muscles, letting me all the way inside, taking in her bottom lip. Tiffany pressed her hands firmly into my chest. The tightness hurt me just as much as I was hurting her, but the extra lubrication from the condom helped. I let her be in control as she adjusted to my size, slowly rocking into me. When she was comfortable, our pace picked up. I was so into it that I actually just sat up, holding her tightly into me with one arm just to gain momentum. Hearing her ass smack against my thighs let me know that I was all the way in. In mid-fuck, Tiffany pulled the blunt from behind my ear, placing it between her lips. She pantomimed a lighter and motioned towards her nightstand. I fell back, reaching over to grab it. While she lit the end, I grabbed both of her hips, thrusting even deeper. Slowly inhaling, she took me by the back of the neck with one hand and pulled me up to meet her mouth for a shotgun. I slowed my pace, breathing in. Tiffany gave a devious glare, watching me exhale through my nostrils. Taking in another big hit while moaning during her exhale, I penetrated faster from being extremely turned on. Oh my god. She dug her nails into my shoulder. Oh, you are so fucking tight. I love it. I gritted my teeth. You feel so good, baby, she moaned back. Tiffany placed the blunt in my mouth, letting me smoke while she rode me. My god, did I feel like a fucking king. I leaned over, reaching for the ashtray before sitting up. What's wrong? Flip over, I demanded. She immediately rolled over onto all four. I held the blunt out for her to grab while I reinserted. She took a long hit before handing it back. Gripping her waist, I went at it while I finished taking the last few hits before the paper had burned out. I fucked her so hard that the headboard banged against the wall in a threatening manner. In time, I felt sweat form on my chest and roll down my back. Fuck Mally, I'm gonna come, she cried. I went harder, feeling my own release at its peak. She slammed her ass back into me several times, just letting me pound into her. Feeling her muscles constrict around me made holding out completely impossible. I turned her over, pulling her to the edge of the bed. Before letting me go at it again, Tiffany peeled off the condom and dropped it onto the floor. Are you sure? I'm dangerously close. Just fuck me, she panted. I slid back in, grabbing her legs, placing them in the crook of my arms, watching her back arch. Her vocals cut out as her legs trembled. I panted so hard, feeling her orgasm around me as she reached back, gripping the pillows. The sharp pain of an orgasm struck my gut. I gritted my teeth, wincing at the significant amount of pleasure I was feeling. Without notice, I pulled out, exploding uncontrollably all over her stomach. I initially felt horrible, but she nodded that it was okay while pulling me down on top of her. I relaxed my posture as our breathing slowed, letting the ceiling fan above drive the sweat that was dripping down my back. Tiffany's body lay powerless, still lightly shaking beneath me. She kissed my neck and shoulder, playing with my hair to soothe me. I looked over at her clock, to it being almost 10 at night. Shit. I gotta get home. Trent's gonna bust my window if I'm late to rise. That's fine. I have to be up early too, remember? Get cleaned up and I'll take you home. Hovering above her, Tiff leaned up, kissing me once more before letting me leave. Pulling up to my house, I made Tiffany cut off her lights. This is me. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. You will. I had a nice time. I needed that. Yeah, I did too. I gently opened the door to her Jeep, sliding out. Tiffany yanked me by the shirt, getting one last kiss. I licked my lips with a smile. Good night. Good night, Mally. Instead of entering through the front door, I decided to sneak through my window. Still a little high, I needed the wind to wind down for the night, so I pulled out my journal, letting my mind flow. It takes the true strength of a man to define his character, admitting his wrongs. Learning from his mistakes gains self-discipline. It holds the sincerity of finding his worth. A man sits a hollow creature yearning for humbleness beyond solid truth, not by which he grows through defeat versus conquer, nor trial and error, but to advance towards one willing to teach him right, will he then find his value and meaningful purpose. And that was the end of chapter 4. So actually did pretty good time matter on that, and I don't think I stammered too hard. I got lost a little bit, so hope you guys enjoyed that. Whew. So stay tuned for chapter 5. Thanks, guys.